flesh creatures. Look at your man, now back to me. Now back to your man, now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. Why? Because I am Megatron, and he is a puny weakling, yes.
All right, and welcome back to another Megatron draw stream. And today we're finally bringing back the color streams because we haven't done a color stream in a freaking long ass time. So, but today we're working on the Megatron that I was working on last weekend. So we're gonna be coloring this up, and yeah, it's pretty much ready to go. Yeah, I'll adjust to it. So I think we're gonna start off with the face, and then we'll kind of move into the metal, the helmet, and all that. Should be a very, very simple and quick one to do because he's all he's Megatron. He has like he's just all silver and black. So should be a relatively fast one today. Hopefully, because I have a place to be a little bit later on today. So let's grab some markers. So, and I'll grab you just in case. So I'm going to go for sort of a violet gray for the face plate, and then we'll go for more like a kind of more metallic, more gunmetal almost, with like a mix of neutral and cool grays for the actual helmet, as well as like the rest of the metal on him. I think it's going to be the best way to do it because that way, when I have the grays, the violet gray on the face will kind of help him pop out a bit more. So I think we'll start with cool gray 0, just kind of get it all mapped out. And hopefully my markers still work because I haven't been using them for a while, so I don't know if they've dried up on me or not. So this one's working fine. It's been a long time, but I should be able to get back into the swing of things. Yeah, this is going to be a drawing I did, like I explained last weekend. This is for Peter Cullen, Frank Walker. This is for Frank Walker. I have another sketch of Prime. Well, a few Prime sketches actually, because I haven't decided which one I want to give them yet. But and my stream is being weird. Okay, there we go. But yeah, I'm gonna be giving this one to some reason. My screen keeps going black, so I think I'll just close up my YouTube tab. Just make it the StreamYards tab. Maybe that's what's bugging it. Now we're gonna ignore some of the areas with the X's because that's gonna be all blacked out, and so we're not gonna worry about any of that stuff right now because we're gonna focus on getting all the colors on the face and all that squared up before we do the harsher black lines. That way we don't smudge the ink as we're going. Oh yeah, so for the background, we're going to go for a very, very simple sort of like space sort of background. So probably going to use a lot of like purples and pinks for that. So should be a fun one today. All right, we're just kind of blending the paint now, or allowed to paint the markers. Okay, move on to the BV31. This will kind of just add a nice sort of like purplish sort of a tint to it. That way it kind of pops out a bit more and differentiates itself from the metallic gray that we're going to be using pretty soon for the helmet and whatnot. We'll come in with a BV23 afterwards for a just for more harsher sort of shadow lines and stuff. Okay, so bring my BV23. And I do kind of want to do more of these sort of head sketches of Transformers characters. Just getting nice and nitty gritty with the character. Do more of them. But I think this year, because I've been missing out so much on streams, or I'm working on colored pieces, I think I'm going to really start to focus on just like finishing up older pieces. I think that's what I'm going to do for the rest of the year at least. So a bunch of stuff needs to be finished. It's still, I still have stuff from like last year that still hasn't been finished yet. I'm so busy with work lately. Not enough time in the world. And we'll do a cool gray one. Just to blend the BV23. I'll go over that with a BC10, and I think that should be it for the face here. $25. Just a little bit. Kind of nice that none of my markers are actually drawing up. So that's a good sign, I think. So I've used these guys in fucking months now. Now we'll come back into C0. Okay, should be it for the face. Fix the nose real quick. But it's getting a little weird. Grab my blender. All right. Do you know what? I'll do the same thing for the little crest thing that kind of pops out. Kind of stick with that. And then we'll kind of call it a wrap. At least for the face. Got a lot to do today. Let's see what time is it? 11:16. So I think my cutoff point should be around one or two. Got stuff to do today. Okay. 23. see one. Okay, should be good for the face on Megatron. All right, now let's get the helmet going. I think we'll start with Cool Gray 2 as our base. Not gonna worry about this area because it's gonna be blacked out anyways. Shading this one. I like this guy thing. This goes better. All right. All right, my pen needs some refill. C2. Wrong side. Almost forgot. So long since I use these guys. Here's you guys. All right. Have a shitload of ink in there. Hopefully that gives me what I want. Where's my... All right. Not too worried about the symbol getting colored over, because I'll be going over it with purple anyways. And I'll also kind of create a nice little weathered effect for the symbol. So I'll already have like a nice sort of texturing to it. So it's just gray tones here after all. Some of my markers just refilled you. Yeah, Cool Gray 3. Face with a helmet of a face. Need to refill that one too. Wait for me. There we go. Get a little bit on the tip. go. Hopefully I didn't overflow it. Okay. Grab C4. Not the kind you blow people up with, though. Kind you draw with. My tweet went out. Any views? 30 minutes. I reached Twitter. So I scheduled my tweet for 11 o'clock. No one's fucking here. Not that in mind. Yeah. All right. Guess people are elsewhere today. That's fine. I'm sure somebody will show up. Quick shadow here. And I'll be going over all this with like I'll go for a neutral grade next. Just kind of add a bit more of a grungy look to it, and then we'll start adding some darker shades, and we'll kind of bring it all back in with a C2 or C0 or something like that. Like I said, we're ignoring the X's because we're going all black with those areas. Just create a nice sharp look. some artists like to hold the blacks on a lot of things, but for me, there's some areas that just, I think that sometimes it just looks a lot sharper when you just go all straight up black, you know. All depends what you're doing. All right, let's use some darker shades now. Get our shadows going. We'll crack the neck with a darker gray while we're at it. I'll probably come back in with some toner grays, the neck, to make it a little bit different from the rest of the body. Okay, 5. Just to make it a more smoother transition here, darker. You know what? Yeah. I'll just grab the sides here, and that's it. There's a torso, just a little bit though. I might leave some extra highlights for the purple because I will have this purple like space backgrounds. I might just add some like little purple highlights onto his helmet as well. That's why I'm not doing the edges just yet. I'm going to kind of build up to those. There it is. Go from there. So that'll probably be the next thing we do here. Hey, Goggle Crusader. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. What time is it? 11:47. So, yeah, quite a bit done so far. Right now we're just working on the colors for Megatron, obviously. And we'll go with C1. I'm just going to kind of blend all this stuff together seamlessly. Probably will come back in with a paper towel technique. Just going to add some extra weathering to his metal here. Yeah, same here. So I got a prime to do tomorrow as well as a commission for a friend of mine. So got a lot to do, and I have a lot of like unfinished work as well from both this year and last year. I just never really got around to. So I draw too much, and at the same time, I'm drawing not enough. I start so much shit, but I never finish it. So I always like start drawing something else afterwards. I'm just kind of like on a weird sort of roller coaster right now. Doesn't help that I have been taking a lot of out-of-town shit, so I'm not able to finish it, work on anything on when I'm home. So. Right. Yeah. But you know what? I think B1 might be good here. Yeah. Add just a little bit of a purplish sort of tint because we are going to go back in with a some pinks and purples because we're going to have a pink and purple sort of a space background. So just going to add a little bit of extra highlights and all that. Just to give it a little bit of a realistic edge, but not too much. I don't want it to go too realistic. Because real world's boring. Just trying to bridge up all these loose ends here. So it kind of looks like to me anyways. Just to give it a more smooth sort of look. But yeah, so I guess the trailer for the new Transformers movie is kind of going around the block a bit on Twitter. It's really getting popular. It's like I'm a little bit mixed on the trailer. I'm still mixed on this movie in general. I think that there's a lot of There's a lot of questionable decisions I see them making. Don't really like the Megatron voice. Like the Megatron is where my main issue is actually with this movie. I just not really liking the way they're portraying him. Maybe it's just me. I'm just like not. Maybe it's because I'm not used to seeing like a really young sort of Megatron. You know, because to me Megatron's supposed to be like really old. You know, he's supposed to have a lot of age to him. You know, like he's supposed to like predate Orion Pax or Optimus. You know, in terms of age, like even back in the original cartoon. Now, obviously, there's been different variations of those characters, you know, over the years, but I'm not too sure. I like hipster, youngster Megatron all that much. It just kind of seems like doesn't really feel like the character to me. I don't really like the voice actor either. I don't think it doesn't really sound like what a younger like Frank Welker would sound like. You know, he just sounds. I don't know. Doesn't really work with me. I'm actually okay with it. I didn't think I'd like him, but I'm actually kind of starting to like Chris Hemsworth as a younger Optimus Prime. I think Chris Hemsworth's doing a decent job. ScarJo is doing all right as Alita 1. Lawrence Fishburne is pretty cool as Alpha Trion. I'm okay with that. Haven't heard John Hamm as Sentinel Prime yet, but I imagine he'll be fine. Not really like the Bumblebee voice. So the Bumblebee and the Megatron voice, the ones I'm not really digging at the moment. So, what well, I can't remember the names for the life of me, but the guy, I follow him. But the one he did a lot of the IDW stuff, I've been following for a little bit. I just can't remember his name for the life of me. But actually, I don't really look to other Transformers artists as much as I probably should. Like, there's a few artists I follow, but not a whole lot. Kind of like I just draw them because I want. I've always been more inspired by like comic book artists, like more traditional like superhero stuff. That's where most of my inspiration kind of comes from. So like people like Ethan Skyberg, people like J. Scott Campbell, Jim Lee a little bit. Not so much anymore. Like Jim Lee was someone I was inspired by mostly like in my high school days. Not as much anymore, but I still like Jim Lee stuff, just not as much as other artists. I've been inspired by a lot of people like Bruce Timm, Darwin Cook a little bit of Stanley Archer and Lau. But I just can't remember the guys. There's a few artists I follow though for like Transformers art though. I can't remember the names off the top of my head right now. Because I think they had like something weird, like crazy, like username type thing. I just can't remember off the top of my head right now. But I don't really. But like when it comes to like just trying to draw like Transformers, I just kind of like go by the original designs and just kind of work from there. And the way I draw Transformers is it kind of meant to be sort of a more heroic version of G1. For the most part, I try to be accurate in spirit, but also kind of add some extra little like deep line work detail, like kind of like how you see how I draw his torso here. You're just adding a little bit extra fluff to them, but not too much to where it becomes too busy, like we see with like some of the Michael Bay designs, which are just way too stylized for my liking. That's kind of the problem with the Michael Bay designs for me is like they're too involved. There's too much going on. It's just like you don't really have a real like sort of because it doesn't really give the character a whole lot of identity when you have all this like junk on them. Like the same problem with like when they made Shredder like a big robot suit guy in the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movie, where it's just like it might look cool, but from afar, but it's like there's not a whole lot of character in that suit. You know what I mean? Like the original, like like the way the original Shredder, that suit had a lot of like character in it because of how simple. Because it wasn't like this overly complex design, but it had a lot of. It was very very simple. Like sometimes there's a lot more identity in a character when they have a very simple design where it's more defined and all that. Like I think that's kind of what makes a good design. It's not when it's all like crazy and over the top, like with the Michael Bay designs. It's when it says. I think it also stands out more. You kind of it's like. It's like imagine if you had like a Superman movie and he had all this like armor on top of him. It's just like, well, you're missing the point of the character. He's not supposed to, it's just like you have so much shit going on. It's just like it's not Superman anymore, It's like so that's kind of the problem I had with the Michael Bay design. It's just too involved. There's like you can't and they don't even have any of the same sort of like they don't have the same sort of iconic like design cues the original cartoon had. They all kind of like most of them are just like redesigns, honestly, for the movies. So, favorite generation, G1. More of a G1 guy, but also love like stuff like Transformers Prime. Like the aligned continuity is probably second, and then probably Transformers Animated. I really like the animated stuff. Yeah, Bay Formers. Yeah. But I've always had a really soft spot for like Transformers Animated. That cartoon had a lot of really cool, clever ideas for the franchise. And it goes a lot of really cool characters like Bulkhead, Lockdown, Slipstream, Oil Slick, I think, came from that show, if I'm not mistaken. Had a lot of cool cameos too in the show. Brought back some old voices like Corey Burton for both Megatron and Shockwave and Ratchet. And then they had the original Blur come back for, and Hot Rod. They had what's his name? Judd Nelson came back for Hot Rod in the a few episodes. So that was pretty cool. I'm kind of just surprised that we haven't really seen a whole lot of Corey Burton as Megatron, though. Like, I always kind of like, I always thought he did a really good. Like, to me, he's the second best Megatron after Frank Welker. And it's kind of disappointing that he never really got to do a whole lot outside of animated, All right. And I kind of noticed there's a lot of, I just kind of started, I kind of explained this at the start of this stream, but the reason why I have all these X's here and these white spots is because that's all going to be blacked out at the very end. Once I'm done coloring in the figure, at least. Because that way I reduce the, I'm less likely to smear some of the black ink around. But yeah, for me, it's going to be G1, just because the ultimate. And then I'd go probably, I guess kind of Transformers Prime and War for Cybertron, those games. They're all kind of, even though not necessarily the same direct like continuity, they're in the same sort of continuity family, which is the aligned continuity. So I'd probably put that second. And then I'd probably go animated, then maybe IDW, maybe. IDW is always kind of hit or miss for me. From what I've read, I haven't read a whole lot of IDW, but some things just kind of like me. Yeah, it's really hard to find like out in the wild some of the older like Transformers books. It's really hard to find this stuff because they don't really do a whole lot of reprinting. IDW or comics, so at least last time I was there, I haven't been around the comic stores in a little while, but for me, it's G1 all the way. Beast Wars. I was never really the best. I never really got into Beast Wars when I was younger. Something about it just wasn't really Transformers to me. Not that it's a bad show. I watched a few episodes. I just couldn't really get into it, so I have no idea. I've heard it's good. I heard it's a really good show, though. But I just never really got into the Beast Wars characters. I was just like, I'm just kind of like, where's Optimus Prime? Where's Ironhide? Where's Jazz and all that? It's like, to me, that's what Transformers was. Like, I never really got into the whole going from mechanical to organic sort of transformations. I was always kind of more into the mechanical robots, more so. Like animals like that were like something like the Dinobots or the Predacons from G1, like that's fine by me. But it's like, maybe it's the animation, maybe it's just a little bit past my time. But I might go back and try to rewatch it. See if I can change my mind on it because not a whole lot else I'm watching right now. So. I haven't been watching a new show, a new what's it called, Earthspark, or whatever the fuck it's called. It's like, ever since Transformers Prime ended, there's never really been a really good like Transformers show. I mean, actually, Cyberverse wasn't too bad. Cyberverse was probably was pretty decent, had some decent ideas, but yeah, I just haven't really been into a lot of the recent cartoons they've been putting out lately. It's like Didn't really like the Netflix series. Didn't really like the Art Spark stuff or what I saw from the trailers. So it was like, just didn't really like the art style of that show. Didn't bother trying with it. Good mid-season 2. Then you see the G1 characters by the end of season 2. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I know that there are some G1 characters in Beast Wars. I just never really got into the show. But maybe I should get around to it at some point. And just not leaving this pen. Just gonna leave it. Okay. All right. So I kind of want to do a little bit of a neutral gray. Just kind of add a bit more metallic sort of feel to his helmet. I will be going back in with my paper towel technique where I kind of smear some ink onto it, just kind of give it a more weathered sort of look. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping to give this to Frank Welker at the managers to make it to the convention not next month, but the month after. So I did give him a drawing once, actually, back when I met him in Vegas, as well as Peter Cullen. So this is how I do things. This is how I go. I always try to give give art away to some of the people I go to conventions. That's what I do. Well, it's because I'm horrible at small talk, so it's like okay, I'll just talk about my art. It's like, here you go. Gas me up for a few minutes, make me feel good about myself. This pen, I need to swap the tip or the tip for it. Nib. Yeah, I met when I was in Vegas. I met both Peter Cullen, Frank Welker, and Greg Berger. I think that Michael Bell was there as well. I don't think I met him because I think I was really I was in a rush to get into the lineup because the lineup for Peter Cullen and Frank Welker was huge. Like, it was a massive fucking lineup to go meet them. So I had to be in line as soon as possible. But I wish I did meet Michael Bell. That would have been really cool as well. Because he was the voice of, I think, Prowl, and I think he was also Sideswipe. Got my scale poster signed by Frank and Peter. Yeah, that's the same one. I can grab it real quick, actually. I want to see that. I bought this print at the convention. I had both Peter Cullen and Frank Welker sign the piece for me. So you don't see the signature for Frank, but there he is. So it's a pretty cool piece, actually. So, and not step over. I just don't have a really good spot to put it in my walls. It's kind of in a weird spot right now. But I mean, everything's kind of in a weird spot for me because I'm kind of moving things around. Because I'm trying to find a way to kind of expand my display space for my Transformers. So I'm kind of working on right now. I just hope it'll work because it's So I'm trying to get, like, what I'm trying to do is get some more billies. I'm trying to get another one, because what I'm trying to do is get another full billy, and then I'm trying to get two like skinny billies, and then one more of the I guess the Gersby from IKEA. What was it called? Now they don't have the Gersby anymore, so I need to get like sort of something else to kind of be a stand-in for that. And hey, Tina, good to see you. Hello, Miss Snacks. Oh. Well, I hope you don't mind biting down on metal, because that's all you're gonna taste from me. So, how you doing, Tina? Good to see you. But yeah, so like I'm not doing detox. No, I need to have, because I need to have some symmetry in my shelves. Some 2 OCD. Yeah, not gonna go detox. I'm doing I think I'm going for like a Finby maybe from IKEA. I think it might be that. Only is that I would have to spray paint it white, but I think it might be worth it in the end to have. Because I think Finby is about the same size as the original Gersby from IKEA. So I might just go with that. But I just need to make sure it'll actually fit in the space I want to fit in. So, but the goal will be to kind of put the Unicron in the middle, because the way I have it mapped out is that you'll have one main billy in the middle, you'll have 2 main billies on the right and left sides, and then you'll have like the Gersby / Finby going in the corner, and then right next to the center billy will be where there's 2 half billies or skinny billies right next to it, and that's kind of like where I'm going with my expansion, I think. And doing that will actually open me up, and for the middle bookshelves, that's where I'll be putting my Unicron and my movie bots. So like the movie bots will be right in the middle, and then Unicron will be take up 2 spaces on the top of the shelf, or in the top 2 shelves in the display. That's kind of like the where I'm going with that one. It's kind of hard to explain, because it's hard to kind of explain hard to explain my plan for it, but it's kind of like the basics of it. Once I get there, I think that it'll make more sense, hopefully. But doing this will actually kind of leave me open to doing more characters, like maybe doing some like aerial bots, maybe protector bots, and all that. So, yeah. But right now, I need to actually just kind of work on clearing out the corner of my room before I can actually move any new furniture in there. So that's gonna be my goal for this month, anyways. It's kind of just like by the end of this month, anyways. You live in Winnipeg? Nice. Yeah, it's freaking hot as shit where I am as well. Yeah. My marker needs a refill. Yeah. Yeah, we got a bunch of rain here too. Past couple days. And so to speak. And the way you kind of refill, for those who don't know how to use Copic Markers, you just take out the chiseled side, and then you just take the ink and you just squirt that shit in there. And then you can also do it on top of the tip of the chisel as well. So very simple. Just a little tutorial. So I do that a little bit for newer artists out there. settle for now. I might just pull out neutral gray too. Yeah, do that. About time. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And right now, I'm not too worried about the symbol getting colored over because I will be going over with some purple anyways. So, I'm self-taught. I've been drawing since I was, I think 4, 5 when I was younger. I've been drawing my whole life. I never really remember a time where I wasn't drawing. So it's kind of my thing. So I was drawing all the time during elementary school and preschool. So yeah, long time. Now it was more recently in my high school days where I started to really take it more seriously. But yeah, I've always been drawing. I've always been drawing since I was younger. I was always a very creative person. Now, obviously, I do tutorials every now and then, obviously, or all the time. So it's not 100% self-taught because obviously I do kind of consider that a little bit. Because I do consider like YouTube videos and stuff like that, like animation, or not animation. What am I talking about? I do consider that kind of a little bit of like being taught, a little bit of education, but yeah, I think I only took like maybe one art class in like junior high. And obviously we had our like little art classes like in elementary school, but I never really took anything in high school for whatever reason. Because I think for me, I think I remember I just my whole goal was just to get out of high school as soon as possible. So I think that's why that's kind of why I never really pursued anything or any classes there. Because I was just like, I just want to get the fuck out of here. How much money? It's like everyone's so obnoxious in high school, you know. Just like, get the fuck out of here. It's yeah. Make sure not to go too far on the highlight lines. We'll be going over that a little bit later on. So we are going for like a purpley pinkish sort of a sky or space background. So we gotta make sure to leave a little bit of extra space in some areas or some highlights, because it always kind of helps like bring a sense of it kind of helps make it feel more alive, the drawing. I think the one that I had the most effectiveness on when I did the whole light sourcing thing was probably the stitch I did last year, or not. Yeah, it was last year. It was December. But yeah, I did the stitch, and then I think that was where I kind of realized where, you know, that's where I really figured out how to do really good light sourcing, I think. Like, it's still probably my favorite Disney piece I ever did. So it's the way the colors were popped out on that one. All right, so I think N4 is ready. Should be. Nope, that's C4. Well, shit up. Yeah, my N4 is like weird. All right. Should be good enough. I'll just grab the barrel really quickly. On the new job, by the way. Yeah, congrats, dude. I heard about that as well. Yeah. Good stuff. I'm actually kind of a weird place in my job. It's like, so I thought I was supposed to get a raise like a couple months ago, but it's like I didn't. So I'm just like, what the hell's going on here? So I'm just kind of figure that out. What's going on with that? All right, this guy is just not. There we go. So yeah, a little bit of a purplish, sort of a gray color here. Just because I think it'll help with the transitioning with when I grab some or when I throw on some purples, highlights, and all that. But yeah, I've been like working a lot of out of town shifts lately, so that's why I haven't really been able to do a whole lot of color streams actually lately. You know, I just haven't really had enough time because like just the way my process kind of works for when I do my colors, it's a little bit different because I have to transfer the original inks, pencil inks to a new sheet of paper, which is like this Bristol or not this Bristol, it's the blending card, but it's either this or a Bristol paper for my coloring, and so it's just a little bit of an effort to do that and re-ink it all over again, you know. So it's just because of the way my process sort of works, which probably isn't the best option, but it's the best option for me because I don't have. Because the best option would be to just like print your scan your original art and then print it off, but I just don't have a good scanner or printer for that, and so I just have to kind of just like. So I just kind of trace my original art onto a Bristol or blending card, and then I just do all the colors from there. So it's kind of it's a bit of a process for me. That's why it takes a little longer for me to get some coloring done. Yeah, it's gonna just fill all my markers today, and I've been using them lately. I'm rusty. All right. Actually, I kind of thought about using actual different like inks. I saw like this Bombay ink. I saw it in different colors. I might actually try using that at some point for like backgrounds and stuff like that. It might be really useful for doing like a really cool like cosmic sort of thing. Like just like instead of like just wasting so much time like painting everything or whatever, I can just like drop some ink into it and just like spread it around. And something I'm wanted to kind of try it at some point, but it's like $10 a pop for those things, so to get a little bit slower. Because there's a bunch of different colors I'd want to use, you know. But yeah, just some little things I'm thinking about. I have wanted to bring back my watercolors a bit, actually. Because I know that you can actually mix your watercolor and ink and Copics like in a drawing. I just don't know how to do that yet. So, but I'd like to try at some point. I just don't have enough time to experiment with different mediums. Not enough time in the day for an artist. I do. I start at 7 a.m., maybe 3, 4. Okay. Yeah, my hours are kind of all over the place. So, because sometimes I'll have short shifts, and sometimes I have longer shifts. So, just because of the nature of my job. Which is kind of nice, actually, because it allows me to have a little more flexibility. If I have a shorter job, I can be like, okay, well, I can do some more artwork this evening, you know. So it's kind of one of the benefits, but also there's a lot of like really late shifts as well. So it kind of messes my sleep schedule as well. Like one shift actually that I did a few months ago just kind of completely changed my sleep schedule forever because I was doing a job up in Yellowknife, and so and I kept going to bed like really freaking early because of how tired I was there. Like it was because the time zones like are really freaking weird up there because it's always like because the sun doesn't go down until like around 11 o'clock ish. So what do I do for a living? I don't really want to give that information out on the internet just because it's. I'll just say I work at different retail jobs and I work or retail stores. I'm not gonna say the exact kind of job I have because we kind of have because our job kind of has a no like social media policy type thing. I think it's been a while since I've read the policy stuff when I first. Cause I've been here for like 6 years now for this job, so. But I go to different stores and do work for them, you know. With the rest of my crew and all that. So that's kind of how it's one of those kinds of jobs. It's like I'm always like working around the city as well as out of town jobs. So. But yeah, Yellowknife was like weird, but that whole thing like kind of just like screwed up my whole schedule. Like because ever since then I've been getting up at like 4 a.m. in the morning and going to bed at like 8 at night. So which is kind of a good thing actually. I kind of like getting up early. The more I think about it, because I get more stuff done in the morning. But it's like I'm getting put on late night shifts. This is like I'm just like not used to 8 late hours anymore. You know. But I mostly do morning shifts, but then it's like on weekends I sometimes will do a late shift. It's just kind of all over the place for me. All right, I think that should be good enough of that. All right, so I think we'll start by doing our. Actually, what? Let's do the neck first. I want to make that a little bit darker. I think most of my tone are good. Never mind. You're good. Just want to make the neck significantly darker than the rest of it. You know, so. And then we'll go back in and add our highlights. Hey, Grumpy. Good to see you. Took so long to get here. It's been a slog of a week, yeah. I hear that one. How's our old grumpy old ninja doing today? All right. Okay, so I think we'll do our highlights, and then we'll do the eyes, and then we'll do the back, and then we'll do the blacks, and then we'll do the background. So yeah, for the highlights, we're just going to bring in a B12, which is like a pale lilac. And I'm just going over the areas that have like the white sort of still kind of poking through because we're going to have like a nice like sort of purplish white pink sort of a background here. So we're making Megatron look very, very pretty. All these highlights here. But it's necessary. I think it will pay off in the end. Well, if not, we can always go back over it with some gray. It's too much. Dragon Kung Fu. Okay. Is it wet work? Hope not. All right. Ooh. Not focusing. The hell. There we go. Okay, and then we'll grab the edges. All right. Remains to be seen, Tina. We should do battle. Don. Oh, we're just picking fights now. All right, let's do. Just a little bit on the torso, not too much here. Just little drops of color here. All right, well, you better watch out, Tina, because Grumpy's has the magic wrench, so. I need to get more mods on my channel. I just don't have enough. I'm just too lazy to make any. I think Diamond's a mod. I don't remember. All right. B15. Yeah, because I'm gonna go for like thanks, dude. Yeah, I'm going for like a very sort of because the inspiration is actually from the actual drawing, actually in my thumbnail. That's kind of where the inspiration for this was kind of coming from. I just love the purple all around him. It kind of looks really cool to me. So that's where I kind of adding a lot of these like purple highlights to his helmet, because we're gonna be having a purplish pink sort of space background. So it'll kind of help, hopefully. Just make it more dazzling. Dazzletron. Did you see the trailer for the new Transformers 1, Grumpy? I want to see what your thoughts are on that trailer. And I probably already know how you're going to feel about it, but I, for one, am not really looking forward to the new Transformers. It might be okay. It might be an okay little, like fun little movie, maybe. Like it might be something I can probably take my nieces to, but not with something that really is like the proper origin of Transformers. And apparently, it's gonna be set. I heard a rumor that it's supposed to be set in the Michael Bay verse for whatever reason. I was like, there's nothing like it. But I think it's just like the director being, the producer being stupid, because like he just can't let go of the fact that Michael Bay verse is fucking dog shit. So he has to keep kind of like, oh, I gotta make it relevant still. I can dodge a ball. I can dodge a wrench. Yeah. But I mean, I guess the animation looks okay. There's some designs are hit or miss for me from the Transformers 1 trailer. I am Megatron. They look okay. I mean, not horrible, but nothing too fancy. So I have not seen it, but new Transformers stuff these days tends to disappoint. Yeah. Yeah, well, you'll probably. I imagine you're probably not gonna like the stuff they did with Megatron. He seems like a little. He seems a little wimpy. Like his earlier days, like, they kind of make him a little bit wimpier. It's kind of weird. Like seems very passive aggressive. Then once he gets his the power from Alpha Trion to transform, then that's when he becomes powerful. It's just like it's like I remember an idea. No, IDW was very hit or miss for me. But I just remember in IDW books where it's like the first thing he does in the origin comic book is kill like one of the big Autobot security guards, and he does so by smashing his face in with his bare hands. And so it's like, and that's before he got his training in gladiator pits. Like that's well before that. So it's just like, and so the fact that he's just like kind of wimping out to this like big guard at the very beginning of the trailer is just like, it's not Megatron. It's like. It's like, where's the glad? And apparently they're not even doing the gladiator origin story for Megatron. It's just gonna be the miner, and that's it. So it's kind of a bit of a bummer for me, because that's always been kind of a big part of Megatron's character, is like the whole origin story within the mine, Energon mines, and then, going into the gladiator pits and all that, where he gets all his training from. So apparently not even doing the whole gladiator origin for him. So, which I mean, that isn't necessarily a deal breaker 100%, because there have been different variations of Megatron. But since they're going, but they're already going for very like inspired by IDW and the Alliance continuity and all that. So it's just like you might as well just go all the way with it. But a lot of great things are doing for this movie. Not too sure how I feel about it just yet. Now, some fans are actually kind of bummed out by the story of it being about them gaining the TCOG. I'm not too against that whole storyline. The idea, because it does kind of harken back to some of the IDW and the aligned continuity stuff, where it's like they kind of made it to where the Cybertron government is kind of very, very corrupt and all that. And so yeah, I wouldn't put it past them to kind of make it so that only certain Transformers could transform, aside from others and all that. So that's not really a storyline that bothers me too much. Because now, obviously, I do kind of prefer. Now, I would prefer it if, because normally the transformation cog is kind of a natural sort of thing for most Transformers, but it wasn't always like that as well. I think in the original cartoon, it was something that was an upgrade that was kind of evolved throughout the war for Cybertron, like way back in the days. So I mean, I think that's kind of one of those things where it's like it's not really a deal breaker either way, at least for me. To me, the deal breakers is when it comes down to like the characters and stuff like that, and how well they're being portrayed and all that. Like that's what's kind of like where my deal breakers kind of lie. And Ryan Pax, he seems okay in the movie. Like it seems like kind of a mix between the original G1 Orion Pax for Optimus and a little bit of the aligned continuity stuff. But yeah, it's very, very meh for me. I mean, it might be a fun movie, but not really the best thing in the world. Joel on Twitter is actually saying this is the best thing in the world. It's okay. It's just fine. All right. It's like people are like losing their minds about how it is. Like it's just okay, guys. You know. Good. More misunderstood villain crap. Bad guys are back. Yeah, that too. Yeah, they are kind of going that road as well with Megatron. It's just like look, there's some variations of the character that have existed that did have some measure of like sort of relatability or understanding, but at the same time, but it's like this is Megatron we're talking about. Like he's not supposed to be like. Sometimes we just need villains who are just irredeemable, and evil. You know? Especially if you go by G1 Megatron, like he was not a nice guy. It's like like or even like Transformers animated Megatron, right? Like the whole thing with him is he basically plans on laying siege to the entire planet, all because not because of any real personal beef with the planet, all because he was stranded on that planet for 50 years. Like he's literally willing to annihilate an entire planet just because he wasted time on that planet. Like he waits because in the show he lands on Earth. At the very beginning of the show, he's injured, and so he has to kind of rebuild his body and whatnot. And so he spends like 50 years on Earth and stuff like that. And so when he comes back, he's like, I'm going to lay waste this entire fucking planet just because I wasted time on it. Like, it's like, this is not a nice guy. He's not someone who's, good in any way, It's like, now you can have a redemption type of arc if you write it a certain way, if you develop it properly, but but some characters just aren't meant to be redeemed, And I'm not really all that fond of this whole buddy cop sort of movie they're going for with Megatron and Prime here. Like I never saw their friendship in that way, at least. I never really saw it as, like I always kind of saw it more if they did have like a friend when they did have a friendship, it was more like they both had the same sort of goals and ambitions, but their ways of going about those ambitions were what drove them apart. At least in aligned continuity and IDW and all that. Like Sounds perfectly reasonable to me after all. Do and pesky. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't. I guess. Yeah. Like an IDW, like he once almost like he basically like manipulated humanity into sending a nuke into their own fucking city at one point. The all hell Megatron storyline. You know, it's just like this guy's not playing around. But oh, he's misunderstood, guys. Go by the old G1 cartoon War Dons. There was no real friendship in the original cartoon. It was kind of like it was a brief friendship for a moment, but then it's just like he immediately turns his back on him and shoots him in the back. You know. You know, I think the show that really did Megatron the best, though, was probably like Transformers Prime, because they did a little bit of the redemption type stuff, but they also made sure to let you know that he's still an evil asshole. You know, it's like, it's like he's not. It's like, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like if you make him too, like, you can't do too much with him. Like you can't make him too redeemable. Like you can have a little bit of it depending on the story you're telling, but he has to be like, when he's in his prime Megatron, like he needs to be, full on evil Megatron, And that's like kind of the problem I had with Netflix series too, is that they made Megatron they almost made Megatron more likable and more like heroic in a way, because like you had Prime in that show, he was like very, very, he was very, very nihilistic. He was very, very whiny. He was very, very like emotional. I mean, Megatron was too to an extent, but Megatron at least had ambition. But it's like he had scenes where like Megatron was actually trying to reason with Prime, actually trying to have like a truce or whatever made, and Prime just like refuses and whatnot. It's just like it's just. And Prime does things in that show where it's just like very, very morally questionable things. Some decisions like get people killed, Which, I mean, I get it. It's war. I mean, that's going to happen, but it's just like Prime wouldn't take reckless missions knowing it would get people killed. I think that's what Prime would do. But I mean, I guess it depends. I guess because it is a war story, at that point. But it's just like, but it was basically a false friendship. Like he starts out kind of like he starts out being friendly to Orion, but he just like shoots him in the back, or he shoots him in the arm or whatever. And it taught Orion Pax, not this Prime at that time. Like it's you can't just admire someone just because they're powerful. You need to see how they use that power. All that. And that's what makes a person. It's how they treat the power they have. Just going out of the blender real quick. I do like that they're actually having like Lita 1 in the story. I actually don't mind her in the movie. But I think that what they should have done instead of Megatron, they should have had, and Bumblebee. That's another character I don't like, that the way they're kind of portraying Bumblebee in recent days as well, is that they're giving Bumblebee a larger role in Prime's origin. Like I never, because and a lot of people aren't really talking about this. I don't think they're completely erasing because in doing this, and when they're promoting the Bumblebee and Prime friendship so much, you're killing the original friendship between Optimus and Ironhide. That old sort of war veteran sort of like brotherhood that they had. It's kind of being forgotten a little bit. I feel like because you've oversaturated Bumblebee so much. It's like you're replacing. He's kind of taking over that best friend role from Ironhide. It's like, well, no, they had a really strong like sort of a bond in the cartoon. Like they always had each other's backs. Like anytime Prime was like out of commission, like Ironhide always stepped up, and he knew just how Prime like wanted things to be done. When he was gone and all that, like he knew. You know what I mean? Like so I don't think there's really this kind of unspoken sort of a friendship between them in the show that was really, it's it was a good friendship, and it's kind of being torn apart now because they're promoting Bumblebee more so as that sort of best friend role for Optimus in his early days, especially in his early days. It doesn't make sense as much, because Bumblebee's always been supposed to be kind of like the younger bot, kind of the more of the underdog of the Autobots. It's always kind of how I've always saw him. But that's just one thing that's kind of an overall thing they kind of been doing lately with Bumblebee as a character, but I think he's a little bit, he's kind of like there's a bit too much of that character lately, I think, as well. I think it takes away the importance of other characters. I think that's not really the way to go. Because there's more characters than just Bumblebee and Optimus Prime in the Transformers lore, Yeah, so. But yeah, but if I was to change this movie up, I'd probably just go with. I'd probably have like instead of Bumblebee and Megatron, I'd probably go with like something like Dion and Ironhide or something like that, or Ultra Magnus or Ratchet, right? Even All right, see you later, Comic Relief Crusader. I'll see you around. But yeah, some things the franchise has been doing lately. To me, the friendship between Ironhide and Optimus, like, or just in general, there's a lot of like friendships within the G1 cartoon that are kind of being tossed aside. Yeah. I like my Megatron to be an evil asshole. It's my thing. That's what Transformers Prime did really well. Is like it's like, yeah, there was like an element where there might have been goodness in his motivations in the beginning, but you never forget that he's a evil piece of shit in that cartoon. He's always like just like it's like he like just like the scene where he almost like kills like the human character Raph or whatever. Like he just like laughs about it. Like when he sees him like injured and whatnot. It's like you guys want to really redeem this guy. It's like okay. Yeah. And like I said, you can have redemption arcs with these types of villains. It's just like you have to really earn that. You have to really, it has to be a natural transition, of a character. I feel like they did kind of earn it in IDW a little bit. I think they still need a little bit of work to kind of develop that turn, but Transformers Prime, I feel like they could have done a little bit more to show that turn where he becomes good at the very end, but it made more sense in that way, in the way they kind of did things there. There are way too many curves on those bodies. Well, Yeah, they're a little bit too curvy and smooth, and yeah. Yeah, I'm just not really feeling a lot of the voice, or mostly like the Bumblebee and Megatron voice are the ones I'm not really digging. Chris Hemsworth, I'm okay with Chris Hemsworth. He's starting to grow on me a little bit. He's not Peter Cullen, obviously. He's never going to be, but I think he's doing a decent job kind of portraying like a younger version of that. But the guy playing Megatron, I can't remember his name, but he's just like way too young for my liking. It's just like, I think I posted the guy who played Atrocitus from the Green Lantern Animal Knights animated movie. And the reason why I posted that up is because I posted that saying like, this is if you're absolutely going to have to, if you absolutely need to do a young Megatron, this is the guy to get the voice. I think the actor's name is like Bruce Thomas or something like that. Like, yeah, if you go back and rewatch the scenes with Atrocitus in the Animal Knights movie, like if you were to get someone to play like a younger version of like Frank Welker's Megatron, I think that's the guy to do it. Like something like that. At the same time, it's like I just don't really see Megatron as being young. I can't visualize a youngster Megatron at all in my mind. And if I do visualize it, it's well before. If I can see a young Megatron, spat all over my drawing. But if I could buy that Megatron was a younger bot, it'd be well before he ever meets Optimus Prime. Like I see him as someone who's had like so much like life, like history. Like he's been through so much shit. That's to the point where it's like just completely broken his mind. Like that's kind of how I see the character. In the original cartoon, anyways, like I always saw him as someone who just had been through so much shit to the point where it's like he's lost it all. But I don't know. I just can't really buy a very, very young Megatron. He's also a little bit wimpy in the trailer too. Like he's like, like he's like getting pushed around by those big guards, or whatever. It's like Megatron in the original lore. He's been able to fucking fight people like Predaking. He's been able to go up against like people like Shockwave, and I think he fought Dinobots. He's fought like Omega Supreme. I think he might have fought Fortress Maximus. Like it's like, but now these two big taller guards, not too much for you, bro. And the Prime cartoon, he like punches like one of the fucking Unicron manifestations, and he shatters it. It's like IDW's only pack a punch from Devastator. It's just like you're really gonna make. It's I don't like it when they make him wimpy. It's just like no. And apparently they're only getting their power. The only reason they're powerful is because of the transformation cog. It's like, see to me, it's like, look, the transformation cog, it was just biology, like Cybertronian biology. It wasn't like the be all end all for them, Oh, and it's almost 2:00. We have now 1 more hour left because I have places to go, so I could probably start moving this along a bit more. So I think we'll get this symbol going. Yeah, it doesn't look like a horrible movie by any means. I don't think it's going to be a horrible film. I think it'll be a fun movie, but and it might be something that I can actually like take my nieces to. Like I said, it's like one of those things where it might be just like a fun little kids movie, but I don't really see it as like the proper origin of the Transformers in any way, shape, or form. Like it's like I don't really need. It's like you're probably like better off if you want like a really good origin story, or really like, or if you really want a story with just the Transformers, like I just watch the cutscenes from the Fall of Cybertron games, or just wait until those games come back to the game stores. I think they are coming back. I think they've been kind of hinted at that they might be coming back. relatively soon, actually, which makes sense because they've been making a bunch of toys based on the games lately. So yeah, if you want like a more much better version of the story, I recommend those games instead. Say you got Peter Cullen and Greg Berger back for Prime and Grimlock and the Paul Cybertron game. And this tells like a much better like story. It's far more true to G1. Okay. Let's grab a darker shade for the purple on the symbol. Yeah, I gotta go meet with some family. So I gotta be a little bit quicker today, unfortunately. So I think I'll end at around 2:30. So probably got another hour and a bit to go for the stream. Yeah, I thought it would go by a lot faster actually, this one. But we're at a 2-hour mark already. Jeez. All right. Well, I'm actually hearing that people are liking the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Actually, I heard that's hearing a lot of good things about that. So I might check it out if I feel like it. Not sure if I want it though, just because Disney. Might just wait a little bit until I get it or watch it. Okay, I should be able to assemble for now. All right, let's get the eyes going. We'll start with a lighter red, so the R22. This will kind of just be a base color. Might add just a little bit of glow on the eyes, on the cheeks there. Just a subtle glow of the evil Decepticon eyes. Which I wouldn't mind doing the yellow eyes for Megatron at some point. We'll see. So go over some of that with some gray. Why is my screen keep going all black for some reason? It's annoying. Oh well. I almost want to add a yellowy orange sort of to it. Make it look like his eyes are on fire almost. There we go. Okay. Now we can do our blacks. Finally. Excuse me. All right. There's the face so far. Looking pretty handsome. I just did some myself. All right. Just make sure I didn't miss any black areas. I'll probably go back in and add some more, but I think I want to get the background started as soon as possible. Then I can go back in and make some adjustments here and there. And right now I just kind of go random with the background actually. Random sort of pops of color, like pinks and purples. Once I'm done here, I'm gonna come in with my paper towels, and I'll kind of like do some like smearing or dabbing rather. I'll get those blacks in that way. With some of the black ink I have. So I could use a refill pretty soon. You're dead. Okay, we just need a nice bright color here to go around him. Use this guy. Or you know what? We should go and use this guy. Or V12. Where's that? Okay, and then so we'll bring back this color. Okay, and we're done for the Copics at least for now. It should be enough. All right, pull out my ink. Later on, we'll grab my paint, and we'll do the so we can do the stars and all that. All that good stuff. I pull up a million fucking things. All right. All right. So we're using Bombay Black India ink. It goes in Michael's. I just dip it onto the paper towel, and I just dip it into the purples. And it creates a very, very quick, easy sort of a effect. This can be used for multiple different things, like a cloudy background or something like that. But we're using it to create some space. Yeah, I might use a little bit of it just to kind of rub off onto the metal of Megatron, just going to give them a bit more weathering. Once this is all kind of dried up. I did this technique for, I think this first, at least for space. I did it for I think did it with the Blackfire and Starfire from last year. So. That's I don't think I'll tell there. And we're going to add some little weathering to Megatron here. Almost like a dry brush. Excuse me. There's that later. Come down me. Very big hit. All right. So I think we're almost done here. Just need to grab some paint to the stars. And then we're just on touch-up job. Time is it? 1:30, so we can probably get it done here. You know what? I'm going to use this thing, so I'm just done with this notebook. Just going to pull out some paint. I have a brush. Get my paper towels on standby, because I'll probably need it. Which I'll kind of cover up the face. Very, very simple technique to create some really quick stars. Just take some acrylic paint, put on a brush or toothbrush or whatever, and just flick it onto the page. Very, very easy sort of technique. I will go back in with some, create some like larger stars. Here and there, but I don't think this little area here, because I don't want to get any paint on the main body here. There's my little stars starting to take shape. Just put you right there. Quickly wipe my hands before I do anything else. I'm not getting any paint on this guy. All right, so I'll grab my Uni-ball and I'll grab my highlighter. And then I'll grab a few of these guys. Just going over the areas that didn't get covered up by the flicking, so to speak. Just creating a little bit bigger sort of stars here. All right. These little cosmic lines of energy, just to kind of spice it up. Add some blue. And some purple. We'll do a quick highlight around the body, just to make him pop out a bit more. And after this, we'll do our ink touch-ups, and then I think that'll be it. So I might bring in the pencil crayons just for some more little touch-ups here and there, but yeah. We're almost there. This one. I think I like it. It's all right. I think next weekend, I think I'm off next weekend, so I think I'll do Prime next weekend. Or, we'll see. Yeah, I might do Prime next weekend. I guess spend tomorrow, work on my commissions. That's the plan. All right. Okay. Oh. Okay. Thick. .8 might be the way to go here. Find one. Where the hell damn much is that? There. That's the one.
There. Eyes are a bit wonky on the symbol. That's okay. Fix that later. No, I'll just leave it. All right. I think we're gonna call it a wrap once we finish tidying this up. We're just done anyways. I'm just gonna thicken up the lines here on the face. Nothing too crazy here. Just the mouth here, just a little bit too much. Right. I think that's it. I think that's it for Megatron today. And, nope, I need to sign my name. Purple. And that's going to do it for me today, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let's go through everybody who showed up today. Grumpy, Conquer Leaf, and Tina. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I think that's everybody. Yeah. And yeah, so next weekend I'll probably be doing the Prime. We'll see. We'll see what happens this week. Just touch up. It's a little wonky there. Spanbo. I want to make that light a little bit sharper, but yeah, that's it for Megatron. I think it turned all right. So on that note, I think I will call it a wrap, and I should be around probably next weekend for the Prime or something else, whatever I decide to do that day. Oop, this thing was flying around. But yeah. I will catch you guys next weekend. So let's get a clip pulled up. And do that one. Okay. So, see you later.
Hello, female flesh creatures. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back to your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. Why? Because I am Megatron, and he is a puny weakling. Yes.
Fellow Decepticons, take heed. Your leader, Megatron, still lives. Though we remain dispersed throughout the far reaches of the galaxy, exiled from our true home, we are all still Decepticons, united by a common purpose. The time has come for us to put aside our differences and act as one under my undisputed leadership. Only then can we cast off the shackles of Autobot oppression. Working together, we can raise up our glorious empire once more and crush all who stand in our way.